for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee Sunday morning service. We're here in the sanctuary, and also welcome to you who are joining us on Zoom or maybe during the week on YouTube. But whoever you are, however you've joined us, you are welcome here. We know that there are many paths to God, but they all end in oneness and in love. And we're grateful that you are here today. So we start off with our receptivity statement that you'll see on the screen. If you would read along with me. Well, we need to have it on this screen. See, this is great. All right, next one. Next slide. It's coming. Yes, we know that God is everywhere present, including into the computer and the software and the operator, Sawyer, and the cables and the sky and the stars. Because you had the other one up there. Okay. It's just everything's running really slow. Yeah. So did you have a good meditation this morning? Yeah. I want to thank Shirley for joining us. We haven't figured out. One of our long-term goals is to be able to have someone on Zoom and actually show them on the Sanctuary TV. But right now we're happy with this. Would be happy if we had the slides. Okay. All right. So we'll go on. But well, the next thing we need to show is a video. So we will need to get that up on there. There. Oh, it was sneaking on there. I think it was coming. Came in from the left. It didn't? Okay, well, we'll do our receptivity statement. Are they seeing it on Zoom, Sawyer? Okay. Well, worst comes to worst, we'll just use that one little computer. Okay. I am here by divine appointment. Something I'm about to hear applies to my life. I am open, receptive, and willing to explore the possibilities. So our musician today is Callie Hansen. And Callie teaches both piano and vocal singing lessons. And if you like her music videos, and they're pretty awesome, she will also help you record your own video in her studio. So check out her website, calliejmusic.com. And so please help me welcome Callie Hansen. All right. So we'll see.
Is called What Would I Do Without You? And it's by Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors. I hope you enjoy it. Sometimes I wake up in the sadness, other days it feels like madness. So what would I do without you? When colors turn to shades of gray with the weight of the world at the end of the day. What would I do without you? A decade goes by without a warning. There's still a kindness in your eyes. Amidst the questions and the worry, that peace of mind always takes me by surprise. Without a lantern in a coal mine, oh, what would I do without you? My imagination gets the best of me, and I'm trying to hide lost at sea. Oh, what would I do without you? The difference between what I've said and done, you're still standing by my side. A guilty soul and a worried mind. are patient, I'm always on time. Oh, what would I do without you? Well, you got your sunshine, I got rain clouds. You got hope, I got my doubts. So what would I do without you? Oh, what would I do without you? Oh, what would I do without you?
Thank you, Callie. So our practitioner this morning is Shirley Clark. And Shirley is one of our center's talented practitioners. And you will also get to hear her words of wisdom in 2 weeks on October 31st, because she's going to be our guest speaker. She's going to have some assistance from Melissa and Z, who are going to be our musicians by video that morning. So you have a team of fabulous and entertaining and musicians, CSL musicians, that'll be there as well. So please help me this morning, Shirley Clark, to provide this morning's special reading and invocation.
Good morning. Thank you, Reverend Pam. And thank you, Kelly. That was a great song. So this month's theme is Going Further Together. And today's talk is entitled We, Me, Going Together Further. My reading this morning is about a concept called Ubuntu, which most of you have heard of, I'm sure. Ubuntu is a part of Zulu life in Africa. It is a philosophy meaning I am because we are. In community, we embody a gestalt of consciousness, a whole that is greater than the mere sum of its parts, and each individual is uplifted because of the support of the group. In certain regions of South Africa, when someone does something wrong, he is taken to the center of the village and surrounded by his tribe for 2 days while they speak of all the good he has done. They believe each person is good, yet sometimes we make mistakes, which is really a cry for help. They unite in this ritual to encourage the person to reconnect with his true nature. The belief is that unity and affirmation have more power to change behavior than shame and punishment. This is known as Ubuntu, humanity towards others. And so let us take a moment to think about unity and about the power of unity and about the goodness of unity. That unity really is a concept about the one that is spirit, God, Allah, Creator. And each and every one of us is a representation of that one, a face, an aspect, a facet, a jewel that is the universe in each and every aspect, a representation of that one life, that one love, that all-powerful unifying spirit. And I know that I am one with that spirit, that I am just one aspect, and that each and every face is also part of that one. And I am grateful for this knowledge, for the beauty, for the love, for the support, for the creative expression of that one. And knowing that all of this good is out there, circulating changing, evolving. I just let go, and in wonder, in gratitude, together we say, and so it is. And so now I would love to invite Callie back with a special song entitled What Are Words? And the songwriters are Lauren Christie, Rodney Jerkins, and Andre Lindahl. Welcome, Callie.
Anywhere you are, I am near. Anywhere you go, I'll be there. Anytime you whisper my name, you see how every single promise I'll keep. 'Cause what kind of woman would I be if I was to leave when you need me most? What are words if you really don't mean them when you say them? What are words if they're only for good times then they're done? When it's love, yeah, you say them out loud, those words, they'll never go away. They live on, even when you're gone. And I know an angel was sent just for me, and I know I'm meant to be where I am, and I'm gonna be standing right beside you tonight, and I'm gonna be by your side. I would never leave when you need me most. What are words if you really don't mean them when you say them? What are words if they're only for good times then they're done? When it's love, yeah, you say them out loud, those words will never go away. They live on, even when you're gone. Anywhere you are, I am near. Anywhere you go, I'll be there. And I'm gonna be here forevermore. Every single promise I'll keep. 'Cause what kind of woman would I be if I was to leave when you need me most? I am forever keeping my angel close.
Okay, and is this mic off? No, it's actually on. So let me turn it off. Okay, so let me take this off. And voila. Okay. Yeah, I know, it's on my face. Life is good. Oh, you know what? It's going to have to go down. Yes. Yes, thank you. Oh, it's a good thing that perfection is not required in our religion, you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Perfection is there underneath, and we're working to manifest it. It's caught on my shirt. Yeah, hang on, don't fall. And it. Okay, we're good. Yeah, it's threaded it. Never mind. Okay. So anyway, but when we're in relationship, we want to make sure that it's not a dependent relationship where I just can't make it without you. Ideally, you want to be two strong people. You know, in that Gahil Gibran in his poem about marriage, he talks about two trees standing nearby each other, but then they grow up and then their branches interface to create a canopy for whatever is growing between them, their family and all of the things that they create. But if they get too close, then they get intertwined and gnarly, and neither one of them is very strong. But if they're standing two independent, strong trees, then you have this strong relationship that can expand out and support other people and other activities. So today, though, I want to take a little bit different look at it, and I want to consider how each person is lifted up by their community and how we have a relationship as a community. As we is greater than me, we can go further together, right? So there is as much love and caring and dedication in that community as you have in a relationship. I know when I've been active as a practitioner for decades, but I know when I went through several years after my first husband passed away, I was the one that needed to receive. And so all of that loving came back to me, and the support of the practitioners and the people in the center where I was. And there's two excerpts that I'd also like to share with you from the CSL Declaration of Principles that Ernest Holmes wrote back in 1926. The first one is, we believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in everyone, and that all people are incarnations of that one Spirit. We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. Right? So it comes back to that oneness, the Ubuntu that Shirley was talking about this morning. And Ubuntu is a part of the Zulu life philosophy. I am because we are. You know, that statement recognizes that in community, we are a gestalt of consciousness. And who we are, if you take us out of we need the context of our community to really explain who we are. There's so many things about us that are determined by that community and where we live. But it also means that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, right? 1 and 1 is more than 2, right? And each individual is lifted up because of the support of the group. And it's not just the support of someone special who stands by their side, which is fabulous and important, but it's also that whole community supporting each individual and that couple, really, right? Now, and all of this Ubuntu idea is similar to that CSL idea that spirit is incarnated in every person, and all life is unified as one with God and with each other. Right? There is no other. It's just another part of ourselves. Now, in South Africa, Archbishop Desmond Tutu offered a definition of Ubuntu in his 1999 book, No Future Without Forgiveness. He said, a person with Ubuntu is open and available to others, affirming of others, does not feel threatened that others are able and good, based from a proper self-assurance that comes from knowing that he or she belongs in a greater whole, and is diminished when others are humiliated or diminished, when others are tortured or oppressed. Each person in that community has to be treated with that love and respect, right? Now, Tutu further explained Ubuntu in 2008 in a talk that he gave called The Brief Meaning of the African Word Ubuntu at the Ubuntu Women's Institute. And he said, one of the sayings in our country is Ubuntu, the essence of being human. Ubuntu speaks particularly about the fact that you can't exist as a human being in isolation. It's about those relationships that are part of make us who we are. It speaks about our interconnectedness. You can't be human all by yourself. And when you have this quality, Ubuntu, you are known for your generosity. Right? We think of ourselves, Tutu says, far too frequently as just individuals, separated from one another, whereas you are connected and what you do affects the whole world. When you do well, it spreads out. It is for the whole of humanity. Stanley Samkaj explains that there's 3 maxims of Ubuntu that shape the philosophy, and I'd like to share with you the third one. The third maxim is a principle deeply embedded in traditional African political philosophy that says, the king owed his status, including all the powers associated with it, to the will of the people under him. Right? The king. Right? So even the king was in power only because he had the support of the community. He was supporting them and they were supporting him. At Nelson Mandela's memorial in 2013, President Barack Obama spoke about Ubuntu. He said, there was a word in South Africa, Ubuntu, a word that captures Mandela's greatest gift, his recognition that we are all bound together in ways that are invisible to the eye, that there is a oneness to humanity, that we achieve ourselves by sharing ourselves with others and caring for those around us. So it's really about this whole idea of oneness, of caring for each other, each person. Jesus talked about, if you have done unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me, because it is truly part of the one, right? Now, in South Africa, they acted on this in many different ways. And one of them, Mandela, when he took over as the president after apartheid, he based the Truth and Reconciliation Commission on the ideas of Ubuntu. It was a process to heal his country from the collective painful memories that were left under the human rights violations during the apartheid period, which were massive. But the commission's emphasis on gathering evidence and uncovering information, both from victims and perpetrators, was not on prosecuting the individuals for the past crimes. Instead, he wanted all of his people to let go of the past, embrace that Ubuntu that brought them together as one, and move forward together. Right? Now, and Shirley talked about that process in the village, where they would bring someone who had done something wrong, and rather than putting them in jail or whatever, they would bring them there and talk about the good things that this person had done. And it's kind of like on the scales of justice, you weigh weigh what's going on, and so the good things will generally outweigh the bad. I mean, we all have things that we're not proud of that we've done, but we focus on doing the good things and doing them better every day for all people. Now, in her book, The Path Made Clear, Discovering Your Life's Directions and Purpose, Oprah Winfrey says, or she quotes Thich Nhat Hanh, who said, deep listening is the kind of listening that can help relieve the suffering of the other person. You can call it compassionate listening. So this is a skill that, and when we are in relationship as a part of a community, when we are hurting, You know, I mean, they say everything is either a call for love or a call for, um, everything is a call for love, right? And so, and and uh, so when we listen to someone with that compassionate listening, we are allowing them to speak up and ask for that love and to receive it, you know, rather than remaining in fear and condemnation of themselves, right? Now, in America, independence is an American goal. You know, we don't, I mean, Ubuntu is not part of our country's major ideals, right? We want to be independent. You know, and for many people, their highest goal there is that absolute determination that they want to be independent, free of society's directives. They want to call all the shots in their life, right? But in fact, they may be limiting themselves from creating something even greater that they could through interdependence and cooperating with others, right? Stephen Covey, in his great book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he has a section called The Maturity Continuum. And he explains that we are all born as infants who are totally dependent on others. You know, as someone who, without someone to care for us when we're first born, we would not live more than a few hours or at most a couple of days, right? And so dependence, when we stay in that as children and we want to grow up, but not everyone does. When you're in a dependent state, we say that it's all about you. You take care of me. You do or you don't come through for me. And whatever happens, I blame you for it. Right? It's about you. That victimhood kind of thing, if you want to say. So independence is the next step as we mature. And we learn as we grow up to become physically independent, mentally independent, emotionally, and financially independent, right? This is part of maturing. And this moves us to the mindset of I. Instead of you, it's now I. So in the paradigm of I is I can do it. I by myself. Maybe I am responsible. I am self-reliant. I can choose what I want to do and don't do, right? This is the me perspective, right? I serve me. What's in it for me? I'm going it alone. I can disregard other people's input and contributions. And this might be good for your own creativity and getting you out there and getting to try out your own ideas, but you know, it stifles the creativity of others. Because if they don't fit in with your idea, then you'll just dismiss it, right? Now, according to Covey, the next step then is interdependence. You know, we don't stop developing, hopefully, at independence. We learn to be interdependent. For Covey, interdependence is the paradigm of we. We can do it. We can cooperate. We can combine our talents and abilities and create something even greater together. Human beings are social creatures, and they're stronger when we work together as a group, whether that group is as a couple, as a family, a business, or a community, right? People crave connection, right? We love small groups. It's why in a tribal culture, it's so strong in the parts of the Middle East and Africa, because it gives that sense of connection, and it gives them the context of who we are in that sense of a we culture. In Eastern culture, success is viewed from the perspective of the community rather than the success of an individual. When you look at China or Japan, you know, they talk about what happens as a community is more important than the individual. Now, sometimes the individual gets lost in that culture. So you want to have that independence and the interdependence going at the same time, ideally. But in that culture, the we is much more important than me. So interdependence is a natural state of being, since we are all part of that one life that is God, that is expressing in and through and as each one of us as an individualized expression of God, and as that group as a whole. When you have a jigsaw puzzle, it has multiple pieces, and you need all of those pieces to make a whole. You know, if anyone is lost, You don't have a whole. Something's missing. You know, when I was a kid, my mother taught us that when you got through with the puzzle or the game or whatever you were playing with, we put every last piece back in the box. I mean, we would hunt under the sofa or under the sofa cushions or whatever we needed to do to find that last piece of puzzle. But then the next time we wanted to put that same puzzle back together, we had all the pieces. Right? It was an act of caring about each piece that kept all of those pieces together, right? And so each piece also is in service to the whole, right? You know, I mean, have you ever seen a puzzle where you have the picture of the lion right in the middle and the eyepiece is missing? You know, it's it's something. Each piece is important. So, but it's also each piece by itself is just a fraction of the possibilities, and you could look at that eyepiece and have no idea what the rest of the whole picture is about, or even whether it's a lion or a bear or a kitty. You know, it's something. And then the whole idea that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. All of this being true, it's still important that an independent person must have enough confidence in themselves to choose how to respond to fellow human beings. You know, if we're operating out of fear, then we'll react one way. But if we are confident and we know that God is our source and we are an expression of God, then we can choose to respond with love. We can choose to see the other person as a part of ourselves, as a part of the one. And again, come with compassion and love, regardless of what's going on, right? And if we, in The Flow of Life, a book by Eric Butterworth, he says, in the flow of love, you will tend to see and respond to the divinity in all persons. And otherwise, our fear, our insecurities, or even our neediness may cause us to blindly just protect ourselves from other people by building that protective shell around us. It separates us, right? And when we come from love, especially when we're tied into that infinite love of spirit that's coming in and through and as us, endless source, right? That's continually available to us. Then we can allow that love to continually flow through us if we haven't shut ourselves off into a protective shell, right? Because we're supported from the inside out, but it also circulates back to us as that love circles out into the world and comes back to us. This is where our true power and wisdom can reach their highest potential as individuals and as a group, right? There's a quote that I heard when I was young that has always pulled me forward and upward. It's by John F. Kennedy. He said, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Right? That is that kind of selfless love that shows independence, because you're going to be doing something for your country, but it's also the interdependence of we built this country together. You know, imagine how that would transform our country today if we were living by this adage from John F. Kennedy, and Congress might get to a consensus, or the issue of mask or not masking, or vaccinating or not vaccinating. I mean, all of these things, if you go to that higher level, they just become secondary to supporting and loving each other and creating a great country together. Interdependence is most powerful when each person is a strong, independent individual who also appreciates the gifts that other people bring to a situation. It's like a quilt. Each piece of that quilt is beautiful on its own. And then the entire quilt together is as magnificent as a collective patchwork, right? The greater the diversity of the individual pieces of the quilt, the brighter, the more colorful, and the more glorious the whole quilt can be, right? I mean, all of that love and attention and creativity that went into creating each piece put together into that whole quilt. And so I love the quilt that's the Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee. We have this, each piece of our quilt, each person that's a part of our community is such a unique and brilliant light on their own, right? Each of us has their own story that's made us the piece of quilt that we are. You know, each some events in our lives, the motivation, beliefs that we each have, some relationship that's made us each who we are. Right? And there are also additional pieces of our quilt that are still out there, right, waiting to join us. And we don't even see them yet, but these new people that are being attracted to our quilt, their lives will be enhanced when they join us, as will our lives. As we grow together, we learn to appreciate each other's gifts and to enhance each other. The more that we can flourish and go further together. In the book Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukav, and that's an amazing book if you haven't read it, when you release the wants of your personality in order to accommodate and encourage another person's growth, you attune yourself to that person's soul. Right? So it's that essence of who they are. That's the spirit of God that is expressing itself in, through, and as them. And imagine the amazing synergy for both you and the other person when you attune to another person's soul. You know, as individuals co-creating together, humankind often attains its highest levels of achievement. And when we really tune into the essence of who we are and we get beyond the expectations and beliefs, there's a Japanese proverb that says, a single arrow is easily broken, but not in a bundle. Right? And so as an individual, we have a certain level of strength, but when we combine all of those arrows together, you know, in that big fat bundle, you can't break it nearly so easily. And so all the things that we can accomplish together. Now we have our good to great vision that you can see on our screen. And it's our vision of who we are becoming. You know, it's what came from spirit. I mean, there was a great synergy as we were listening that so many people saw very, very similar things as we put that together. And we can create, and we are co-creating this vision as when we are each a strong, independent person who brings their gifts to join in the interdependence of our center. You know, we're each that individual tree that's bringing our branches together to create something wonderful together, a whole grove of place that protects and supports all of the activities that occur within our center. It's like all those pieces of the quilt coming together so beautifully. It's like the different colors of the rainbow that come together to stretch across the sky after a storm, right? And it also reminds us of God's promise to humankind that it's always there for us. God will never desert us, right? We always have that within and without. A wonderful example that I love is thinking of a symphony orchestra. You know, each musician, each violinist, each flautist, each trumpeter, each cellist, each oboist, the drummer, each one practices and practices until they have mastered their instrument and the music that they're going to be playing. And when they come together under the guidance of a master conductor, their joint performance elevates the musicians and the audience even higher as the music pours forth with love, with beauty, and with joy. You know, you may not even be a member of that orchestra, but you are a part of that experience. You know, maybe there are people that create this magnificent experience. They are the people the ushers, the ticket sellers, the ticket takers, the AV musicians who manage the sound and the lights, the fundraisers, the people who work in the snack bar, people who vacuum the floors or manage the music library. Each person is a part of this magnificent symphony and that evening's experience. So for the orchestra, as for us and for all people, we are greater than me alone. If you have ever played together in a symphony or rock band, and sung together in a choir, or just sung together in church, you know that amazing power and majesty of the instruments and the voices as they blend together. If we align ourselves individually and collectively with that divine source, the ultimate master conductor, our potential is unlimited. we can go further together. Let's take this to prayer. And so in this magnificent day, where we see God everywhere, in the beautiful blue sky and the waters of Lake Tahoe, a bird chirping, the wind blowing, and our warm, cozy room where we are. We see it in the eyes and the loving arms of the people that are gathered here. It is all God, and it is all good. And so as each one of us is grounded deep in spirit, our roots growing down to gather that nourishment, we rise tall and strong. Each person a beautiful expression of God with all of its wisdom and strength, supported perfectly from within and from without. And we gather. Our branches cross. And there is this wonderful, safe place that we create as the Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee. And it is the physical space that we have here, but it is that space within our hearts and minds that allows each one of us to release whatever it is in our past that has been holding us back and be fully present in the moment, and to know only God, to know only wholeness and peace and beauty and love and joy. And we allow that safe space to be here for everyone that is attracted to this space. And we open as we embrace all. Every person is welcome here. Every person with all of their unique gifts and things that we understand and don't understand and have yet to understand. But we embrace it all, love each one just as they are, for they are a creation of the One. This is the spirit of Ubuntu. This is the spirit of God's love. And each one of us seeks to embody it in greater measure every day. This is our center. This is the truth of who we are as individuals and collectively. And I am so grateful that this love ripples out into the world, healing, transforming, touching, assuring, knowing that all is well and all is good. Everything that would block it is just gently soothed, dissolved, and there is only the One. There is only love that circles the world, that fills each heart, that fills each mind, that heals all and lifts us up to something greater yet to be. I thank you, Father, Mother, God, for your loving presence right here in this moment and in all places and in all things. And I release these words knowing that it is already done. I open my heart and my arms wide to receive and to share. Thank you. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And together we say, and so it is. So we have one more song from Callie this morning, and it's a song called The Climb. And when you fail, we learn to lift each other up, whether it's in a relationship, or it's in our center here, or it is God lifting us up, each one of us. Callie?
Say you'll never leave me, and I'll always be your girl. Just give me your attention, and I'll give you my whole world. When you fall, I will try my best to catch you. That's all, that's all. So tell me there's a reason for the way that things work out. And every grain of faith is just another laced with doubt. When you fall, we can learn to lift each other. That's all, that's all. And oh, how my walls fall down whenever you come around. Oh, the climb's always harder than the fall. That's all, that's all. I get so tired of this place, but I'm never tired of you. There's always another angle and another point of view. Say you'll stay even when I hit the wall. That's all, that's all. And oh, how my walls fall down whenever you come around. Oh, the climb's always harder than the fall. That's all, that's all. And it's you, you're the reason for my ride. It's you, you're my partner here in crime. It's you, say you'll stay with me even when I fall behind. Say you'll never leave me and I'll always be your girl. Just give me your attention and I'll give you my whole world. And oh, how my walls fall down whenever you come around. Oh, the climb's always harder than the fall. And how my walls fall down whenever you come around. Oh, the climb's always harder than the fall. That's all, that's all. Oh, the climb's always harder than the fall. That's all, that's all.
It's lovely. So now is our prosperity time. And so at the Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee, we know that God is our infinite source. And so if you would please hold your offering and repeat after me our prosperity affirmation. And if you are out there in Zoom, you know what it is. And if you're here, we're going to just say it in our hearts because it's not on the screen. And so your gifts make it possible for me and our center to support you and to create a world that works for everyone. God is our infinite source that supports us with great abundance, reliably, always there, always there. And I know that each one of us is guided to see that source, to let go of anything that would be blocking it. And we are now each blessed, and our gifts bless and multiply this center and each one that is a part of us, and everyone throughout the world is that love, and money is just love energy flowing. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is. And so if you're in the sanctuary, we have our offering basket that's over here by the door. We have some envelopes that you can use if you would like for the general fund or the building fund donations. And if you're online, you can mail in your check, or you can go on our website and make a donation as well. So please help us manifest our good to great vision. So we're all about that. And we have our offertory song this morning. It's totally frozen now? So not even online?
Online, I can see you. I can't pull anything up right
You can't pull the slides up either? Okay, well, that'll make the announcements much more interesting. You'll have to look at me the whole time. So anyway, so our song was "I Trust in God," and I trust it's going to be fixed. So anyway, but I also want to welcome all of our guests that are here visiting with us in the sanctuary or online. And if you would like to be on our mailing list, you can go on the website and sign up for our newsletter, or we have a card here in the sanctuary. Normally Reverend Rick Carney would be giving our announcements, but he is with his family today in San Rafael, and his mother-in-law Mimi Strasburger made her transition yesterday afternoon. So, but the whole family was there, and so they're very. It was a loving time to be together with their family. So we send Rick, his wife Marie, and their family our prayers and love. So. Now, as far as our announcements, the office is open now on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 9 to 2:30, and other times by appointment. So remember to wear your mask, and you can come in and register for classes or register for the coming retreat. I know everyone needs to come in and make their payment for the balance due, or sign up if you haven't yet. Everything is due by October 20th. That's this Wednesday that we want to have everything in. And also you need to come in and show your proof of vaccination. We'll take a copy and so we'll have that to give to Ananda, because they definitely will require it. In our announcements, you will find the uploaded version of the miraculously wonderful version that we have from Zoom. That's going to be of our service today, and it's going to be on our Facebook page, on our website as well, and on our YouTube website, right? And that normally those are posted by Monday. Next week, we continue with the October theme, Going Further Together. Reverend Rick Carney will be speaking on the topic, Dig Deep. Musician is Rod Lewis, and the practitioner will be Nancy O'Neill. You can join us in the sanctuary where we are all wearing masks, or on Zoom. The Spiritual Living Circle, I believe Reverend Rick is going to be back for that this Wednesday evening. The Spiritual Living Circle meets in Truckee at the For Goodness Sake, and it's at 5 o'clock. They are discussing articles from the Science of Mind magazine, so you can find out from Rick what the topic is. You can read it in advance.
And it's on Zoom.
And
it's on Zoom.
And oh yes, it's also on Zoom, so it can be in person or on Zoom. And we're better at straight Zoom than we are. Okay. And so how many people have signed up for the annual retreat? So I think almost everyone here. Okay, so a few more that'll be in. So October 20th is the last day to sign up, and it's being held at the Expanding Light Retreat Center in Ananda Village from Friday, November 5th through Sunday the 7th. Our theme is Nurturing the Spirit Within, Self-Care in Turbulent Times. Facilitating the retreat will be this fabulous and musician and speaker, Karen Drucker, and I will also be assisting with some of the activities. So we're going to create that safe container with music and sound and a morning bliss, evening bliss, and if you want to share your talent on Saturday night, Karen will help people practice in advance, so that can be a part of it as well. And so I think we have 23 signed up so far, so we're at break even. So any more people is the merrier. And so, but do invite your friends, because they have room for, you probably have double that number of people. It'll be great. Our ongoing classes are continue to happen each week. So on Thursday, Chris Worcester has his online Tai Chi class starting at 3:30 on Thursdays, and the Mary McEnany and Penny Schiller bring the Thursday meditation that begins at 4:30 with energization exercises, and at 5 o'clock with the meditation. You need to contact Mary to get the link for that. And Sue Pipel's Friday night book study has resumed successfully last night, and the next class will be held this Friday, October 22nd. So there's lots going on to support you, and also our practitioners are here. They are a wonderful part of our center. And I want to, if you would like prayer after the service, you can please contact one of them that are in our sanctuary. So we have Shirley Clark, who is our practitioner of the day. Nancy O'Neill is here. Michael Brandman is there in the back. I'm a practitioner. And online, I know we have Carol Dalbon and Brenda Haldorn is on there as well. So you can contact them in the chat if you'd like to talk to them, and then maybe they'll give you a call if you're online. This is, next we have our children's affirmation. So if you remember it, or you could just know it in your heart along with me. We see you, we hear you, we love you. You are a gift from God. And we look forward to the children being vaccinated and coming in and having a great program with us in the near future. So we're going to have a, I think we're going to, if you're online, if you can see the affirmation slide, you can, oh, I have it in here. This is great. I have the affirmation slide, so you can repeat after me. No, I don't. Never mind. So anyway, we know that it's all true, and so it is. So let's gather in a circle. Can you get Karen Puffer to go? Oh, this is great.
What is it?
The face of God.
Oh.
John Trevor.
Okay. Do we get music? In a minute.
So I dedicate this to all of you. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face